So it's really not even my business, Sheila. Like, it's not our business what somebody believes about themselves. We don't classify sport on the basis of belief. Like, otherwise we would say, okay, if you're this religion, you compete in that category, another religion, or if you actually have, a political party, you go over there, and this other political party, you race over here. We do not compete on the basis of our ideologies.
Really appreciate your brand new book that you co-authored with Barbara Kay. It's called Unsporting: How Trans Activism and Science Denial Are Destroying Sports. And I'm proud to say that we at Rebel News are the publishers of your book.
Yay.
Now, Linda, for people who don't know you, I know who you are. And you've sort of been on my radar since I think about 2009.
Really?
But for people who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yes, I was on Team Canada as a track and field athlete in the event called heptathlon, which is combined events, just like men's decathlon. I retired in sort of late 80s, early 90s. Then I went to university, got my PhD in sports sciences, kinesiology, then became a coach. And I've coached athletes in about 17 different sports across the board on their fundamental movement skills and helping them to become better athletes. I've even coached some Olympic gold medalists, Jamie Salé and David Pelletier, in the figure skating. And so by 2014, I became the elected president of Athletics Alberta, which is the Alberta Track and Field Association. And so since that time, I've been entering this whole bewildering world of policy, sport policy at the national level. And that's, we can talk about that.
Sure. I guess that moves us into, why did you write this book? Like, why was this necessary? I'm very glad you did.
Yes.
But what prompted you to write this book? And I guess, even just voicing an opinion on these subjects can end up with you being canceled. Your career's basically over for a lot of people who go against the narrative, but you took a step beyond just saying, hey, I've got some issues with this, but you wrote a book, you put your ideas to paper.
Well, it's precisely because of the canceling that I wrote this book. This is the book again. I'll show it again. You can get it on unsporting.com. I wrote this book precisely because when I raised the issue that I was concerned about male bodies entering women's sports for safety reasons, obviously, in contact sports, and for fairness reasons, I was basically shunned. And, it's that strange feeling around the table that you're not supposed to be saying something. And when somebody's, when I get that feeling, I realize something's terribly wrong, especially when it's such an obvious issue. And I just committed to speaking out as much as I could before it was too late, because really, if the rules of sport change to the point where somebody could be even imprisoned by saying the wrong thing about males in sport, I need to say this quickly before things get that bad.
Now, what were some of the responses when you first started raising concerns about, as you say, male bodies in women's sports? Because you don't come at this at all from really an activist viewpoint whatsoever. No. You come at this from an issue of fairness and science based on your own science background. Your background is in how the human body works. And so you have a very unique perspective on this, but yet you were treated as something less than an expert when you raised these I guess, dissenting opinions.
Yes. Well, because I am president of an association, I realized that it's my governance colleagues who are in sport governance, that if we don't set the right policy, it's going to not just ruin sport for women and girls, it's going to ruin sport for everybody. Because imagine if there's a parent or volunteer, an official. Most of our people at ground level, Sheila, are just volunteers. And if we don't protect them and give them the right to distinguish what the rules are, distinguish between male and female on the field or on the track, we put them at risk, and then they feel uncomfortable, and our volunteer class could just walk away, and we would actually have no capacity to conduct sport at ground level, which is going to hurt the boys and the girls. And so I just felt like this was actually an existential threat to sport. And if I get canceled, Sheila, I've had my turn. So I immediately saw that I'm of the age, I'm almost 60 years of age. I've actually had my turn. I've been an athlete. I've been on national teams. I've been a coach, enjoyed coaching. I've been in governance. You know what? If they cancel me now, I guess that's the price. It's not a big price for me to pay, at least in terms of my career. And I just felt like I was in a really pretty good position to make this argument without a huge deal of threat to my, my life and my career. And I guess so, if not me, who? I guess that's really the question I was asking myself.
And so around those policy-making tables, what was some of the pushback that you were hearing?
Yeah, first of all, the activist pushback is these aren't men, they're really females inside a male body. That's just utterly ridiculous. It's maybe true that somebody really honestly, fervently believes that they have grown up with a male body with all the advantages and really secretly inside they are female. If they believe that, that's fine. But we compete with our bodies. We don't compete with our identities. So it's really not even my business, Sheila. Like, it's not our business what somebody believes about themselves. We don't classify sport on the basis of belief. Like, otherwise we would say, okay, if you're this religion, you compete in that category, another religion, or if you actually have, a political party, you go over there, and this other political party, you race over here. We do not compete on the basis of our ideologies.
If you'd like to get access to my show, as well as other great TV style shows too, like Ezra's Nightly, Ezra Levant Show, and David Menzies' Friday night show, Rebel Roundup, just go to rebelnews.com/subscribe. That's rebelnews.com/subscribe.